and some people can't get in and out of the tub. So we have to, as you know, you have to take the person and meet them where they are and get them to where they need to be. So even just bending over, leaning forward, and running the hot water to stretch that is good. And I like them to try with and without their knees locked,
Mm.
because sometimes those hamstrings get really, really tight, and that will cause a lot of issues too.
Yeah. So that's a stretch where you're basically just hanging, right, and you're in one plane of motion. I think that a lot of times we naturally, a lot of people I know when they have lower back pain, they naturally want to stretch by like lying down and having kind of twisting motion to feel that kind of other stretch in the lower back. What is the difference between a twisting motion back stretch versus a non-rotational back stretch? And is there like times when you should do one and not the other? Talk to us about that.
I like to tell people if it feels good, I want you to do it. But I
Mm.
think as far as the rotational aspect of it, so when a person is getting an adjustment, some people, as in my husband, think if I'm not getting adjusted and I'm not laid on my side and I am cracked and I hear all this popping, nothing is happening.
Yeah.
I need you to stop thinking that way, people, because sometimes your spine doesn't just rotate. So if we're looking at a vertebra, yeah, it can rotate, but sometimes it can move forward and it can go backwards. So there's different ways to adjust a person. So I don't think you're ever going to think like, I need a rotational adjustment today, or I need a drop tail. I don't ever expect anyone to think that. But if I'm trying to think, probably your fan base is a lot younger than my chiropractic population, who, if I ask them to lay on the floor and go side to side, they're going to look at me and they're going to say, I mean, do you have a crane handy? Because I'm not doing that. So if it feels good to do that, I'm all about it. One thing I really like, because I think that the hips and I'm going to obviously do this, not that you can see it, but I think that the hips and everything get real tight too, and then we don't have a lot of good movement. So one thing I like people to do is, and a lot of people do this when they lay on their back. They lay on their back, they bend a leg, and then they pull that other leg up. You can do that in a chair. You just have to be sitting straight up. You bring this, you bring this leg up, so this foot is on your opposite knee. You push down on this knee and you lean towards this foot, and you feel such a good pull, like in your butt glutes area, because that gets really tight too. I worry that people try to reinvent the wheel when they think that they need to stretch or even start to exercise. It's just baby steps. Like
Yeah.
even if tonight you're thinking, excuse me, I have low back pain, and you go in the shower and you lean over and you just stretch that a little bit. Hey, there's step one, because you might notice a difference now when you get out of the shower. It might not be so bad. But this is one of my stretch crushes, the one that I just told you, because I just think that really can open things up. And a lot of people are like, "Oh yeah." And they do it and they lean towards their knee, and I'm like, "No, no. I need you to lean towards your foot, because that's when you're really starting to feel the pull over in their butt." And if they're not feeling it in there, well then we need to keep doing it until we do start to feel a pull.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Like I love what you said. With a lot of people try to reinvent the wheel, they feel like they need to come up with some sexy stretches and mobility stuff and new exercises. It's like there's some tried and true things for a reason, and so don't try to get too fancy with it, and just stick with the rudimentary stuff and do that repeatedly, and you'll see a whole lot of benefit from it.